Hello and thank you for joining us today. I'm Ranal Gandhi Chatterjee, Assistant Marketing Manager at cloudlimbs.com. I'm excited to moderate this event. How artificial intelligence is shaping the future of clinical research. In the next 30 minutes, our speaker, Martha Hernandez, will describe how artificial intelligence is making inroads in clinical research labs and how you can leverage AI to transform your research and improve outcomes. Before beginning her professional career as a scientist with us, Martha spent 12 years working as an analytical chemist in various industries, from clinical diagnostics to forensics in Mexico. Martha loves to attend trade shows as she gets the opportunity to meet and interact with new people and thought leaders from different industries. Getting the job done in less time is a priority for her personally, as there was a time when she would spend over 14 hours per day manually filling in the logs and typing the results, wasting her valuable time and making mistakes due to exhaustion. When not traveling for work, Martha loves to dance and play with her pups, Homer and Benito. Martha loves to pose with her pups and share pics on her social media accounts. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few points so that you know how to participate in today's webinar. All attendees are in mute mode throughout this webinar. This is an interactive webinar, so we encourage you to ask questions anytime during the presentation by entering them in the chat box. The questions will be answered during the Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. We'll take as many questions as time permits. We do want to keep today's presentation on time, so if you're unable to answer your questions today, we'll answer them by email. Now let's welcome Martha Hernandez.
Hello, my name is Marta Hernandez. Thank you, Ronald, for that presentation. Today I'm going to tell you how artificial intelligence is shaping the future of clinical research. So we know that AI is taking over different fields in science. We already see it everywhere, including clinical research, of course, and precision medicine. So driving exponential advances in healthcare every single day. So the global healthcare-focused AI market continues to grow exponentially, reaching an estimated value of $5 billion in 2020. Of course, I'm talking about dollars over the last 10 years. And it is expected to continue growth and rise an estimated of $44.5 billion in 2026. This is not a surprise that the billionaire the business of AI is still growing and growing, because huge investments are being made to support AI solutions for clinical research. And why? Well, because AI has helped the discovery of new therapies for the treatment and timely detections of several diseases, such as cancer, for example. In this talk, we will focus in three important questions. One, what is artificial intelligence? Second one is, why is it so important right now? And the third one, it's how can artificial intelligence can be applied to clinical research. Also, at the end of this talk, we will be able to get an overview of the applications of artificial intelligence in clinical research. We will meet the challenges of implementing this AI in clinical research labs, and we will see how informatic tools such as LIMS increase the possibility of applying AI to clinical research with ease. So let us start with the first question. What is AI? So artificial intelligence, or AI, can be defined in several ways. It could be a program of a computer designed to perform operations typical of human intelligence, such as self-learning. And it also refers to algorithms which use data to make decisions or predictions. So to build an algorithm, the scientists create a set of instructions for the computer to follow and analyze the data and make these decisions. So In this new era of technology, developers across the globe are talking about embracing artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, ML, and deep learning, DL. These acronyms are often used in the field of technology, and it is really important to understand that these acronyms are part of an umbrella of artificial intelligence. So let's see the difference. As we saw earlier, AI is a computer that performs tasks commonly associated with human intelligence. Algorithms or models are the codes that tell the computer how to act, how to reason, and how to learn. So the machine learning or ML is a type of AI. The ML is not programmed to perform a specific task per se, but ML can learn to make predictions or decisions. The more data ML model is exposed to, the better it will perform. So this is like for ML learns about repetitions. And as for DL or deep learning, this is a subset of ML that uses artificial neural networks modeled after how the human brain processes information to learn from large amounts of data. So it's like a big brain in a machine. So the next question will be, why is AI so important right now? Well, technology is a key factor that drives the latest advances in modern medicine. The combination of AI and ML and other tools used in precision medicine is indispensable in the fast-paced environment of clinical research. The application of AI in clinical research can be variable. For example, AI can help clinical research by recruiting subjects or participants in a study. Also, AI speeds up research in drug discovery and increases the precision at every step. So we know that having drugs faster and that they are not rejected in the phase 4 in a clinical trial, the final stage, well, is crucial for all the clinical research in cancer and every disease. So how AI helps clinical research labs? Well, we know that there are challenges that the clinical researchers face every day. So obtaining reliable results, well, is not that easy. And those are crucial for a better understanding of new diseases and the development of new and better drugs. So the researchers need to follow strict protocols and standards to protect the safety and privacy of participants and to ensure this high quality data. So AI bridged the gap between racing against time and eliminating human errors and meeting the SOP, the standard operating procedures and regulations. And another major challenges for researchers is that there are recurring diseases, recurring cancers, or recurring infections that can evolve and can acquire the most hateful drug resistance. Therefore, there is a need to continuously discover new drugs. However, carrying out drug development, well, is tedious, is laborious, and is really expensive. It takes around 15 years and costing pharmaceutical companies several $millions, and it takes also the mental health of a lot of researchers, me included. AI is used to detect and interpret the characteristic of target molecules. For example, proteins are important in cancer growth. Make predictions of new drugs to those target molecules and help assess the efficacy of new drugs. Also, research is also being done to identify novel approaches to create new drugs more effectively. In drug discovery, there are AI tools that have been used by researchers for several years. All this to speed up the long processes of discovering a drug and putting it within the reach of the patient. For example, there are in silico studies that these are experiments that aid in the identification of drug-like molecules and targets by using bioinformatic tools. There's another example, it's a QSOR. This is the quantity structure activity relationship. This is a mathematical relationship which correlates molecular properties to some specific biological activities. With the QSOR, the researchers attempt to find consistent relationship between the biological activity and the molecular properties. This is all based on the functional groups that the molecules have and the properties that acquire. The other one is the docking. This is used in drug discovery for the study of protein-ligand interactions. The docking has the ability to predict how small molecules interact with the target binding sites. And the other example that I presented today, it's the ADMET modeling. These tools should allow the medicinal chemist to target molecules with the greatest chance of meeting the required pharmacokinetic criteria. This between all the ADMET processes from absorption, distribution, metabolism, expression, ectotoxicity. This simulates how the drug will behave in the body. So once the drug is designed or discovered, well, the clinical trials begin. There are also long processes. So when the test of a certain drug begins, the positive and negative implications, well, are studied. There is a potential long-term side effects. The newly synthesized or the newly discovered drugs may look good in vitro, may look good in a petri dish or in a mouse model, for example, but may not always have the same benefit for everyone due to difference in age groups, lifestyle, and prevalent health care conditions. Therefore, drugs cannot be put into action immediately, of course, in a large part of the population. For this, the test phases in a clinical trial are designed before the medicinal use is approved. So AI helps sift through vast amounts of medical records and generate data that can help find eligible populations for a clinical trial. Also, the AI helps researchers with randomized double-blind studies. AI supports participant recruitment and selection. Well, in clinical trials, the recruitment and the retention of participants are two major logjams and are major contributors to delay in these studies. So researchers are often short of time and resources. So the AI can help clinical research by recruiting and selecting subjects or participants in the study. The AI helps them a lot. Therefore, they can take advantage to select participants from patient medical records or pathology reports based on a specific criteria according to their research. This can be achieved by mining patient information to identify potential candidates with the characteristics that they need for the research using mathematical models. AI helps also to identify which participants may respond best to a drug treatment and also predict the dropout rates. This can increase the enrollment, this can save resources, and increase the accuracy and validity of the research. So, sorry. So in cancer research, let's see something about cancer. AI can be applied when specific symptoms are entered in an AI system. It helps in diseases prognosis and can suggest possible treatment options. Now let's see some examples of AI in cancer research. Well, in breast cancer detection, scientists have developed artificial intelligence technology to aid in screening for several types of cancer, including breast cancer. AI-based software has been used to help clinicians to interpret the mammograms for more than 20 years, and research in this area is evolving faster than ever. There is an AI algorithm that can help determine how often a person should have a mammogram. The model can predict the risk of developing breast cancer in the next 5 years using images from this person's mammograms. Also, AI improves the prostate cancer detection. National Cancer Institute researchers trained computer algorithms to analyze MRI images of the prostate. Since 15 years ago, clinicians began performing biopsies guided by MRI findings, allowing them to focus attention on regions of the prostate most likely to develop cancer. So this MRI-guided biopsy improved diagnosis and treatment when used by prostate cancer experts. The researchers used an AI to capture the diagnostic experiences and made the algorithm accessible to clinics all across the country. And there is another example about an NCI researchers that use AI to develop a system for the automatic detection of cervical precancerous lesions from digital images. So this helps a lot with the early detection of cancer. So this is really great. Thank you to the National Cancer Institute researchers. So the AI also is in genomics and can help to characterization of tumors. The AI can characterize and identify specific genetic mutations based on images of tumor pathology, instead of using the traditional genomic sequencing that is really expensive and it's time-consuming. So the NCI researchers use deep learning, DL, to analyze pathology images of lung tumors from the Cancer Genome Atlas. This DL method accurately distinguishes between two of the most common lung cancer subtypes, the adenocarcinoma and the squamous cell carcinoma, and also predict the commonly muted genes from the images. There is another example that AI can help in the cancer treatment. There are many studies that have suggested that the AI has the potential to gather prognostic information from image scans more accurately than humans currently do, as we saw in these examples. So there are scientists that create a DL model that can determine the likelihood that a bladder cancer patient will need treatments other than surgery. So the doctors estimate that about 50% of people with bladder muscle tumors have these clusters of cancer cells that have spread beyond the bladder, but they are really small. They are too small to detect by the human eye. So if these cells are not removed, they can continue to grow after surgery and can cause relapse. So this model of AI analyzes the images of tumor tissue to predict whether there are microscopic cancer cells in nearby lymph nodes. So this DL was shown to be more accurate than the standard way of predicting whether bladder cancer has spread or not. And the chemotherapy can remove these microscopic clumps and prevent the cancer from coming back after surgery. So this was really, really interesting. So after seeing all these applications, you will surely be wondering how it's possible to implement them in my research lab. Well, implementing AI in clinical research can be slow and laborious, as regulatory hurdles can interfere with integrating AI tools. There are privacy issues and ethical dilemmas that could disaccelerate these AI-based advancements in clinical research. So, to bridge this gap, a laboratory information management system, or a LIMS, plays a critical role in this. A cloud-based LIMS minimize challenges by, minimize the privacy challenges, for example, by anonymized sensitive patient data. LIMS also can help storing informed consent of participants, enrolls participants and associate them with the studies, stores clinical information, generates report on different criteria, and in general, makes the implementation of AI in clinical research easy. Let's see how. Well, LIMS can help to anonymize sensitive participant data and assigns role-based protected health information access rights to the staff. This helps with the privacy issues and also to the ethical dilemmas. The masked data can be viewed only by the authorized personnel, and each time the unauthorized personnel views or make any changes on this PHI, the activity is recorded in an audit trail. So this is really useful for audits because external auditors can request a PHI audit report at any time. So the LIMS do it automatically for you. LIMS also manage this informed consent of participants that are crucial in clinical research and can track the records of participants who have withdrawn their consent. So this is really helpful for all the studies when this is involved. LIMS also helps you to enroll participants with this. So new participant records with their personal and healthcare information can be recorded in LIMS. The different samples that are collected from patients can be registered and can be associated with the corresponding patient records. Also, a LIMS can be integrated with an AI-based tool to screen and pull out subject records that match the specific criteria for a specific study or research. So this makes the participant recruitment process a little bit easier. Also, you can create a cancer research study or wherever your research is, you can create a study and associate with participants. So a good LIMS can allows you to create this study and associate all your participants. And so in this way, all participants are associated in the same study and there are no mix-up in between them. With a good LIMS also, you can you can manage medical history of participants. By integrating LIMS with an AI-based data analysis tools, the researchers can further process the data and do downstream analysis. So you have everything in your system. And also with a very good LIMS, you can create and you can generate your custom reports on different criteria. This enables researchers to make data-driven decisions. So you can customize it as you wish, with your signature, with the logo, with everything you need in a report will be there. So, in conclusion, let's see the key points. What is artificial intelligence? Well, it's a simulation of human intelligence processed by computers. Why is artificial intelligence important? Well, this improves efficiency, eliminates human errors, and boosts the reliability of your results as a cancer researcher or clinical researcher. And how can AI be applied to this clinical research? Well, use informatics and a very good tool such as LIMS. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Martha, for the informative presentation. I request all attendees to please take a moment to fill out the survey that you see on your screen. We are now going to begin answering questions. As a reminder, you can still submit questions to the chat box. We have some interesting questions, so I'll move straight onto these. So the first question that I see is, can AI be leveraged to assess the impact of different dosing regimens?
Well, that's a very interesting question. There are new artificial intelligence tools that are also allowing drug manufacturers to better assess issues related to this drug administration and optimal dosing regimens. There are customized algorithms that can determine the impact of different dosing levels and the schedules of them. This is particularly in combinational therapies with different drugs. And well, they analyze the drug efficacy and safety of those, which could ultimately reduce the risks of adverse events or trial delays and patient discontinues. Well, this I think is a very question that needs to be analyzed later, because with all this data, there are more research to be done to be this applied in the industry as well, because the data rules for these algorithms are generally tailored to some specific patient population by observing how individual patients are responding to these treatments and the impact of those adjustments. But we are a million of people, so data is needed. So I think at this moment, we need further research to this, to apply the AI to this dosing regimens.
Thank you, Martha. The next question is, for recruitment and selection of participants, is it possible to integrate a cloud-based LIMS with an EHR and patient registries to accelerate the process?
Well, yes, it is possible. A good LIMS can integrate with most of the EHR platforms and patient registries. And this makes data exchange, a lot more easier, saving time and optimizing operational efficiency. So before you select the LIMS, you must ensure that the LIMS vendor provides an API that supports the integration. So this is a very important question that you can ask to your vendor if their product it supports the API integration. So write it down.
The next question is, can AI be used to formulate questions for recruiting research participants? Wonderful question.
Well, another interesting question. In this new era of clinical research, I think we are living in a very, very advanced future right now, because the artificial intelligence and the machine learning and even the social media has helped tremendously in this process of recruitment participants. The internet search engines and the social networks are excellent for personalized recruitment ads, for example. So I recently read that there is algorithms that are being created to analyze why patients choose to enroll in clinical trials and what. So now we know that being able to target patient population more precisely and recruit them is crucial for researchers to generate fruitful outcomes, and will give them a boost of confidence when defining research areas, because I have known personally clinical researchers, colleagues of mine, that have a very beautiful protocol and a very good research line. They have everything they need to have their clinical research study, but they don't have participants and they don't know how to recruit them and they don't have the time, they don't have the resources. And I'm talking in academic area because maybe in the industry there are a lot of $1 million of firms that you get paid to the participants to get in a trial or because they have the resources. But in academic, they're not that amount of money for them, at least not in my country. So they have everything they need, but they don't have the participants. And well, they don't know how to do it. So right now, AI will grant researchers the ability to ask the right questions for recruitment by analyzing the real world data from thousands of participants. This might include the data from the EHR records and alongside the biobanking, genomic, and digital phenotyping information and wearables. So with this approach, research question can be changed and improved as more data is analyzed and collected with the flexibility impossible with a traditional study. Okay, this cannot be done because you have to know all the groups, and for researchers it's impossible to waste a lot of time with that. So AI can help them a lot.
Okay, attendees, you can still post your questions, so go ahead. So I'm going to take up the next question. It's, can AI be used to interpret laboratory data of research samples?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and I'm a clinical chemist, so that will, in the past, when I was working on the laboratories, that would be like something not possible. But right now, with all this artificial intelligence and research and with machine learning algorithms, this can be possible. There are AI models that can accurately and efficiently predict the most probable diagnosis based solely on an individual blood test results from the field of internal medicine or neurologies, or it's most like the examples I present for cancer diagnosis that they use imaging. Well, in, for example, I'm speaking in blood tests, and they can have those data and analyze them, okay, thousands of data, millions of data, and they can predict also a diagnosis and maybe even a treatment. But I need to make more research about it, but I'm totally know that it is possible.
So the next question is, how secure is having my data in the cloud versus having data on a server at my facility? That means that uh, what is the difference between a cloud-based LIMS and what is the difference between a traditional LIMS? So which one is more secure and why?
Okay, this is the gold question because I always receive in every trade show and in every conference that I attend, this is the top one concern when it's talking about security of the data. So, well, a traditional LIMS, or well, a traditional one is the one that you have your servers in your facility. You have your AT personnel, you have your big machines there, store them in a room, probably, well, I don't know, the underground or up the top, wherever you have the space. In a cloud-based LIMS, well, it's in the cloud. It's everywhere. I guess I have to say it, and it's really secure. So most cloud-based LIMS providers house the LIMS in a secure cloud environment. Some leading cloud providers, hire big names with a lot of millions of dollars, like Amazon, like Microsoft, like Google, and they dedicated most of this $1 million to ensure the data security at all times. Most cloud service providers claims to have AWS ISO 27001 certification. They have also built-in firewalls. They have also storage and transmission of data encrypt using advanced encryption standards, the AAS, and daily data backups. So data in a cloud-based LIMS is very secure compared to having your data on a server physically located at your facilities. So additionally, a cloud-based LIMS eliminates the need to purchase expensive IT resources such as hardware and allows users to access the product 24/7 from anywhere at any time. Use it an internet-enabled device. And this is really important because there's another question that I receive all the time, that if a lab manager or our CEO or top that it's not physically in the laboratory can know how the samples are going, how there, if there is a test that it's urgent, how in what phase it is. So yes, they can access whatever they are to the system, and they can check specifically what's the status of that sample and is the result if it's ready. So the LIMS provider must ensure that their application is secure through the use of TFA or the two-factor authentication, the use of active directories, SSO, encryption of data address, and must have, this is really important, ISO and SOC2 certifications. So that's the points that you have to ask to your vendor if they are compliant with this.
Great. So I think we have answered all the questions, Martha. Let's wait for some more time because we have a couple of minutes left.
Okay.
So I really hope that clinical research labs start implementing and utilizing AI for their research, maximize efficiency.
It is because in this new era, well, we have to be like fast track in every aspect, and in clinical research now we can take advantage of it, and that's really cool because I would have working in clinical research like 10 years ago maybe, and this was a very waste of time, very hard waste of time and resources doing this without AI. Now I see this in the future, it's plenty good for all this clinical research stuff, drug discovery and whatever. So I think we are in a good path.
And as clinical researchers will be able to build new algorithms and more accurate algorithms, I'm sure that this is going to revolutionize the clinical research labs.
Totally, yes.
Okay, so I think we don't have any further questions. So I would like to thank you all for joining us today. And if you have any questions, you can always write to us at support@cloudlimbs.com. Thank you, Martha, and thank you all the attendees. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.